Hey guys, Jen Gibbs, Mindset Mentor, and today we're on the green screen talking about money. And I have 5 tips for you that action items you can do to increase the abundance of money in your life. Now, abundance isn't just about money, right? There's relationships and time and love and all kinds of forms of abundance. But when we have the green screen, we're specifically talking about getting you past any money issues that are holding you back. So let's do that. Step 1, gratitude. You've heard it before, but that's because it works. It's not going to go away. Your mind actually can only hold one thought at a time. So if you have a thought of lack and I don't have enough and there's not enough money for the bills and you're focusing on not enough, there's no space for the abundance to grow. So what we have to do is just kind of put all that, reality for the moment, it's only an indication of what's past, right? Reality is just the sum of everything we've gotten to until now. And you're gonna put that on pause, and then you're gonna step over and say, you know what? I am grateful for what I have. If you're living out of your car, I'm grateful I got a car. It could be worse, right? So take a moment and acknowledge and allow the universe or God or whoever you respect as a supreme being to step in and to create space for more to flow to you from that source of good things. So number 1 is gratitude. Number 2, we're gonna make a decision that we're done with scarcity, because a lot of people just float through life and they're not really paying attention, and they're just, you get what you get, and sometimes it's not that much, but we're gonna be intentional and say, you know what, I'm done with the scarcity part, I'm done with being broke, and I choose more. And it's just a conscious choice, it's a small shift, but it can be impactful, and that opens the door for many more things. Because if you've never decided to just live an abundant life, what would happen if you did, right? So make that shift, make that change. And so that is step 2. Step 3 is finding proof. The subconscious mind loves proof. It loves numbers, it loves to see evidence, and once you begin to find evidence, it gathers momentum, it starts to go faster. And if you look for more, your subconscious mind is gonna start to find little pieces of additional evidence to build a stronger case for this belief that you're nurturing, right? That you have an abundant and wealthy mindset, and that you've rejected scarcity, and now we're on to bigger and better life, like a big life, right? So what we're gonna do is take out a piece of paper, and I would encourage you to even go to the store and don't procrastinate to do this, but start with a piece of paper, but maybe begin a binder, as an evidence binder. I have one and I love it because I look back and I'm able to see my successes add up, and I present to my conscious and subconscious mind, look, I'm succeeding in this area where I had a goal. So if your goal is more money, let's present evidence to your mind that more money is available, and you are becoming more, and you are trending up all the time. And so make a list of things that maybe you used to couldn't afford, and now you can. And then there's evidence to your subconscious mind. We're growing in wealth all the time. We're getting better and better. We're getting more and more abundance in our life all the time. And so make a list. Did you buy apples at the grocery store and you didn't even check the price, or maybe you fill your gas tank up all the way now, whereas in college you maybe only put 10 bucks in at a time. There are things like that if you look back 5 and 10 and 20 years, I guarantee you there's things in your life that you don't even think about, that you are rich, you are abundant. And Bob Proctor, someone I follow, does some great stuff in personal development. He has a program, You Were Born Rich, and all we have to do is just remember that. So help your conscious and subconscious mind remember that you are progressing in wealth and abundance all the time. Present that evidence, and as you start to acknowledge that and be grateful for that, right? That the whole thing's a cycle, then you'll start to find more and more evidence, and it will just start to snowball for you. So the next thing we're going to do is speak in attainment and feel grateful. So we're going to go ahead, and this capitalizes on Theater of the Mind, which is an excellent book that dives into the psychology of how our mind works and visualization, and it's a very intriguing process. And the idea is our subconscious mind can't tell the difference between what we see and what we imagine. And I struggle with this concept for a very long time, because I'm like, how in the world is that possible? But if you think about how the eye sees something and translates it and sends it to the brain, well, when you visualize something, it just happens in a different part of the brain, but eventually it ends up going to the same spot as the stuff that you saw. And when I first understood that, it was so powerful to me. So take time and kind of assume the sale on yourself and your own success, and just say, hey, you know what? I live an abundant life, and speak in gratitude and speak in now, and be like, when I do get that new car, it's gonna feel so good, and I'm gonna smell the leather, and I'm gonna drive down the road, and you know what, I'm gonna go and stop by and see my best friend, and I'm gonna pick them up, and we're gonna go to the movies, and we're gonna cruise. It's gonna be my car because I got the good car now, and I'm gonna be, you know, rolling out, you know, whatever it is for you. Maybe it's not a car, maybe it's a home, maybe it's a vacation. Imagine yourself in that surrounding and do all your 5 senses if you can. You know, how's the sun gonna feel on your skin if you're laying in that hammock? What's it gonna sound like? Are there seagulls? You know, what temperature is it? You know, are your feet getting sore from walking in the sand? Like, do all the details and feel what it's like to experience the item that you want. And that feeling is what helps change your energy, and it puts you on that road to receiving even faster. And then the last thing I have is going to be a very fun exercise for you. And I've done this on paper, and it may feel foreign or strange at first, but once you get into this mode, it's really going to open your mind up. So what I would want you to do, maybe on the back of the paper where you were finding proof that you are richer than you were previously in your life, what you're going to do is spend $10,000. Maybe this is in 1 month, maybe this is in 1 week or 1 day. Depending where you are, we're gonna stretch a little bit. So let's assume that I give you $10,000 of cash, and you cannot donate it, and it goes away at the end of the day. So how are you gonna spend your 10 grand? Let's just do it for 1 day. Start writing down, what would you do? What would you do? And let's say you got $10,000 to spend every day for the month. 1 day, the next day, the next day, the next day. Because pretty soon, let's face it, we're gonna have all the credit cards paid off, the cars paid off, eventually the house paid off. What's left after that when you have to spend that $10,000? Those are your dreams and desires. Those are the things that your mind is waiting for you to say. This is how you ask for what you want, is start to imagine those things. Where would you go? What would you do? How could you spend this money to benefit yourself, your family, others, to make an impact in the world? Pretty soon, you're gonna start noticing you become a very, very cool person, and you're able to have all kinds of connections and influence that you would not maybe otherwise have had. Money is a tool, right? Money is good for the good that money can do. And so while we talk about, you know, the green screen and getting more abundance in your life, ultimately, money magnifies who you are, and it helps you be more of that good person if you are a good person to start with. So please do your homework. I encourage you, spend $10,000. It's gonna be odd at first. Use real numbers, you know, how would you actually spend this? And pretty soon you'll start to discover what's behind you, and that's gonna open up that mindset to where, you know what, the possibilities are endless. So thanks, I hope that's helpful. This is Mindset Mentor Jen Gibbs, helping you move forward.